Welcome to the Math Review. This lesson is on adding whole numbers and decimals. We have 3 examples that we're going to go over. But before we go over these 3 examples and how to do them, I want to make sure we go over the rules. And there are 2 rules when it comes to adding decimals. Rule number 1 is you must make sure that you use the decimal point to line up place values and annex zeros if needed. And this phrase here, annex zeros, that just means use zeros as placeholders if necessary. And step number 2 is to add each column starting from the right. So let's take a look at example 1 here. It's 15 plus 3.05. Oh, please make sure you note that whole numbers like 15 have decimal points located to the right. So now that we have that note there, we can rewrite this 15 plus 3.05 vertically. That way we can start adding. So let's write the number 15. And remember, we have a decimal point located to the right of it. So there's a decimal point right here. Then underneath that, we'll put 3.05, making sure that we line up the decimal point. So here we'll have our decimal point. To the left of that decimal point is 3. And then we have 0.5 here to the right. Now, we have these 2 blank place values. This is where we can annex zeros. And that just means we're going to use zeros as placeholders. So I'm going to put a 0 here and a 0 here. And now that everything is lined up, I can proceed to add. I'll put a plus sign here and a line under everything. And I have to make sure that I start at the right, like it says in rule number 2. So I've got 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 0 is 0. My decimal points that are here, I bring another one down right underneath it. 5 plus 3 is 8. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So we can say the sum of 15 and 3.05 is 18.05. Although the proper way to read that is 15 plus 3 and 5/100 equals 18 and 5/100. Now let's go to question 2. So we can start by writing 12.92. And we'll have to write our 17. But remember, like we said in the note, all whole numbers have decimal points located to the right. So for this whole number 17, there's really a decimal point right here. And we can use that to help us line everything up. So I'll put a decimal point here. I'll write my 17 to the left of it. And since I don't have anything here, again, I can annex zeros, or I can use zeros as placeholders. So I'll put a 0 under this 9 in that place value, the 10th place, and I'll put another 0 here in the 100th place. I'll put a plus sign, and then I'll start adding everything. Again, starting at the right like it says in rule number 2. So I've got 2 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus 0 is 9. I'll bring down a decimal point here. I've got 2 plus 7 is 9. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So we could say the sum of 12.92 and 17 is 29.92. But again, the proper way to read that is 12 and 92/100 plus 17 equals 29 and 92/100. Now let's get to problem number 3. This one's a bigger one, but the same rules still apply. So here let's write 432.931 plus 288. But like we said in the note, all whole numbers have decimal points to the right. So here with this 288, there's really a decimal point right here. And we can use that to help us line up our place values. So I'll put a decimal point right here, and I'll have 288 to the left of that, 288. And notice how I have every single place value lined up neatly. I've got nothing here, so I can annex zeros like we did before. So I'll put a 0 under the 9 in the tens place, a 0 under the 3 in the hundreds place, and a 0 under the 1 in the thousands place. Again, making sure that every single place value is lined up. If you don't have your place values lined up, you will get the wrong answer, so please be careful. I'll put my plus sign, I'll put a line under everything, and then I'll start at the right adding column by column, just like it says in rule number 2. So I've got 1 plus 0 is 1, 3 plus 0 is 3, 9 plus 0 is 9, I'll bring down a decimal point, 2 plus 8 is 10, but that's 2 digits, so I'll bring down the 0, and I'll carry a 1 up on top of the next place value. Now I've got 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 8 is 12. Again, that's 2 digits. So for 12, I'll bring down the 2 here and carry the 1 here. Now I've got 1 plus 4 is 5, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So I'll write a 7 here, and I'm all done. And we can say that the sum of 432.931 plus 288 is 720.931. But again, the proper way to read that is the sum of 432 and 931 thousandths plus 288 is 720 and 931 thousandths.
Thanks for watching our video on the math review. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. We might use your question in our next video. And if you found this lesson helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And it would really help if you share this and our other videos to any of your social media platforms. See you next time on the Math Review.